believed in UFOs. That's what I thought anyway. And then in recent years, it turns out that governments have been taking them seriously all along, very seriously. Nick Pope is a journalist who has spent years researching UFOs for the British government. He says that UFOs aren't just real. They also frequently come close to crashing into commercial airliners, among other things. Nick Pope joins us tonight. Nick, thank you very much for coming on. So it's really not a question of, do governments believe UFOs are real? Yes, they do. The United States government does. The British government does. The question is, do they have any idea what they are, where they're from?
No, we don't. We keep an open mind on it. We don't rule anything off, take nothing off the table with this. Our point really is that whatever these things turn out to be, there is a serious defense, national security, and air safety issue here.
Yes. Well, so that's kind of the nub of it, and that's where my interest comes from. So why aren't governments encouraging the population to, as they say about terrorism, if you see something, say something, report sightings to the government so we can make sense of this potential threat?
Well, they should be, and that's what we certainly did at the Ministry of Defence for many years. We took it very seriously. Our own pilots were seeing these things. We were having radar operators track them. And we knew, again, through intelligence and through open source material, we knew that the Russians and the Chinese and others were working on this too. The problem was that just the pop culture baggage from the term UFO, flying saucer, little green men, people don't take it seriously. But they should.
So we've ruled out, I think, that these are aircraft, experimental aircraft, or technically advanced aircraft from other countries. Is that true?
Well, no, we keep an open mind, as I say, and some of these things probably are Russian or Chinese, whoever it is, but that's the point. We must find out. If there's something in our airspace, we need to know. For years, governments said they didn't do this. They did. I did it for the British government. I can only talk about this now because my old employers are gradually declassifying and releasing information about my old job. We now know, of course, the Pentagon had a program too. I think it will take congressional hearings to get to the bottom of all this, not just in the United States, but all around the world. And I'd like to see those congressional hearings.
Commercial pilots have very often reported sighting objects in the air that seem to defy the laws of physics. To what extent are these objects a threat to commercial aviation, potentially?
Well, certainly the British Ministry of Defence and our Civil Aviation Authority, which is the UK equivalent of your FAA, have dozens of cases in our files about near misses, some of which where pilots have had to take evasive action. And again, it comes back to the point. I don't care, in one sense, what these things are, but when there is this flight safety concern, when we have these near misses, we sure as heck should be doing more to find out.
That's for sure. Nick Pope, really one of the most credible experts on this subject. I hope you will come back on our show. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
¡Es bellísimo! Salí a grabar,
Dios, tío.
Dale.
Ya.
No puedo creer. Allá, ¿lo ves? Fíjate.
Cop and Secret Service agent is here to give us his top 3 news stories of the past 7 days. The great Dan Bongino joins us tonight. Hey, Dan.
Well, you're lucky because I have 4. And the 4th story of the week, yes, is going to be a nice segue from your UFO segment. Story number 4, Tucker. Apparently, some United States senators have received an actual briefing on this UFO phenomenon. And now, like you, I always wonder why this isn't a bigger story. Listen, Tucker, we don't have to go all H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds or anything. There's no need for drama. But if you had some stuff flying over your country with a technology no one could explain, maybe it's kind of a bigger deal, right? Maybe we should be a little more concerned. Throwing that out there for the audience, you know? That's my
I think that is a
story.
fair concern, I would say.
Thank you, buddy. We think alike, right? All right, story number 3.
Их на камеру не видать нифига. А вот сейчас видно.
Вон самолет мимо пролетает. Вот такие фигнюшки, прям треугольником ровно, смотрите.
Ага. Смотри.
Эй!
Нифига себе, смотри. Офигеть.
Сюда летите. Смотрите меня. Блин, интересно, что это.
Похоже на НЛО, да?
Реально, блин, они над этим домом горят. Может, не нашим чем-то есть?
Blame it on Hollywood. But an increasing number of Canadians insist the drama surrounding unidentified flying objects is real.
There was a very bright light, and I kept watching, and it just sort of came right up, right across, just floating like it was floating.
Sort of like these images from Halifax.
What the hell is that? It's the second time I've seen it.
Fort Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, London, Sudbury.
This Winnipeg science writer has never seen one, but Chris Rutkowski works with a network of observers on an annual UFO survey.
It doesn't automatically say the aliens are invading and landing in Mississauga. What it does say is that people are seeing some very unusual objects, many of which we can't ascribe to a simple explanation.
And UFO sightings in Canada are soaring to new heights. When they started keeping track 25 years ago, there were barely more than 100 a year. Since then, a steady increase, spiking to almost 2,000 2 years ago. Last year was the second highest number on record.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, weekdays 4 Eastern.
Files detailing hundreds of UFO sightings reported to Britain's defense ministry are now being released online. Our internet reporter Abby Tatton has been going through them. Abby, what are you finding?
Well, here's one that was released today from 1993 from a terrified Londoner who reported seeing something silvery, luminous like a full moon that hovered motionless over the rooftops. He even included the sketch for the Ministry of Defense to show them what he'd seen. Flashing lights, a flying saucer. He insisted it wasn't. This was an airship advertising a car over the skies of London. But this is just one of hundreds of reports that have now been released in the UK documenting what Brits thought they have seen over the skies of the UK in the 80s and the 90s.
The CEFAA, the Chilean government agency which investigates UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenon, has declassified and released never-before-seen video from 2014 showing a mysterious flying object of which they suggest could have been a UFO. According to a press release from the agency, a Navy helicopter spotted the unidentifiable object while patrolling a coastal region near Santiago, Chile. The unknown object was seen flying at a constant speed, similar to that of the helicopter, and moving forward. The pilot tried several times to communicate with the object, but he received no reply. Air traffic control failed to detect any flying objects on radar. In 2 instances, the object ejected some type of gas or liquid with high thermal tracking. Captured on video, you can see a massive plume of material trailing behind the object. Moments later, a second ejection of the unspecified discharge. The flying object was visible for about 10 minutes before disappearing into the clouds without a trace. What could it be? Was it a UFO? Air Force photo analysts confirmed that the 3-dimensional object was real, with volume and showcased control in its movements. They established that there was no evidence of hoaxing or alteration of the video by any computer application in the editing and processing of the images. Officials also ruled out a bird or flying insect, a drone, parachute, or a hang glider. After an extensive study, the Committee for the Study of Anomalous Aerial Phenomena agreed it had all the characteristics to be classified as an unidentified aerial phenomenon. For FoxNews.com, I'm Rob Demetrius.
what's that ship? This alien spaceship, I tell you. Yes, I'm really sorry, but just because I was talking. Yes, I'm really sorry, but just because I was talking.
Honey?
Should not be here. And now starting to get off.
Oh man. What is this?
Project Bluebeam at one time or another. Now, for those of you that don't know what Project Bluebeam is, it is a military project working with the hidden hand, the dark government, the deep state, the elites, whatever you want to call them, where they will use holographic projectors along with voice-to-skull technology.
When you're so tied into these technologies, you're not really seeing what's going on in the real world. All the things that are going on today, like surveillance, hacking of phones.
The intelligence community, what I discovered was amazing. There has been a plan in existence since about 1917 to create an artificial extraterrestrial threat to this Earth in order to create a one-world totalitarian socialist government.
Of Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a top-secret operation of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object, which some sources thought might be a blimp, moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach. Army officials declined to comment on the possibility that the object might have been a blimp. However, it required nearly 30 minutes to travel some 25 miles, far slower than an airplane. Watchers on the rooftop of the Columbia Broadcasting Building in the heart of Hollywood could plainly see the flashes of guns and searchlights sweeping the skies in a wide arc along the coastal area. Concussion of the shells could be felt in downtown Los Angeles, 15 miles away. U.S. Army planes quickly took to the dark skies, but whether they contacted the object has not been announced. Army officials say they will not comment until they receive a full report of the action. Although some watchers say they saw airplanes in the air, semi-official sources say they probably were the U.S. Army's pursuit. Several observers say they saw one or more planes spotlighted by 20 or 30 searchlights. The object moved southward, presumably over Huntington Park at the western edge of Los Angeles, and on southward to about Long Beach on the coast. By 3:30 a.m., observers said the object appeared to be over the south of Long Beach. Searchlights closely followed the object down the coast and kept it centered in their glare. Shells frequently could be seen bursting near the object, but none appeared to hit it. The shooting stopped about 3:30 a.m. The shooting brought warfare to the front door of this city of 1.25 million population for the first time since December 7th. Already it was alert to the presence off the Southern California coast of a Japanese submarine which had pumped 25 shells into an oil field north of Santa Barbara Monday evening. Because of the presence of the submarine, a 3-hour alert was ordered at dusk last night, and civilian authorities stood at their posts while the Army and Navy continued their search for the submersible. The evening alert ended at 10:23 p.m., but another was sounded at 2:22 a.m., and the blackout followed within 3 minutes. It covered Los Angeles County from Santa Monica to Pomona. At 2:27, all Southern California radio stations were ordered off the air, except those in San Diego. Approximately 20 minutes after the firing died down, the ship returned and headed westward from Long Beach toward Santa Monica. The guns went into action again, hurling round after round of shells at the object. The second barrage appeared to be closer to downtown Los Angeles, since watchers could hear the concussion of the guns more clearly, and the flash of bursting shells was brighter. Then the ship disappeared for the second time over the ocean. We return you now to CBS in
哦，那个。哎呀，正常。那你看，我帮你看，是朋友。哎呀，正常。嗯。
半月了。
嗯。
几十了。哦，哈哈哈哈。
哟，我搞个抽出来。哎呀，正常了。这个跑啊。水墨画。
那名字读出来呗。
是的，我知道。
这就是哪来的？这个水墨。
这是我搞出来的。
水墨嘛，大银墨。
嗯。他把拍没也给我娃发给他们看。看正常。哇，人出来了。